Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today we're going to take a look and see whether Bram Stoker's Dracula is worth an upgrade on 4K Blu-ray. Hey everyone, so thanks for coming back to the channel. Like I said, today is another Is It Worth an Upgrade video. We're going to check out the 4K release of Dracula from 1992, and we're going to see whether this is worth upgrading over your existing Blu-ray copy. The things I'm going to look at in this review are video, audio, and some of the packaging and special features if there are any differences there, and ultimately give it a score on whether this is worth an upgrade or not worth upgrading and you can save your money. If you like this sort of thing, 4K Blu-ray collecting, movies, physical media, home theater, if you're at all interested in this, I'd really appreciate you subscribing to the channel. I have a ton of good content in this series, so please check out my page. Go to my Worth an Upgrade playlist if you're interested in older movies and different things that have come out in 4K that maybe I didn't get to when I first started doing YouTube. So please go back and check those all out. Make sure you subscribe, you have your notifications on, and let me know in the comments what you guys think about this movie on 4K. With that being said, let's jump right into the review. So surprisingly enough, I had never actually seen this movie. It just was never on my radar. I actually didn't even own the Blu-ray. And so I had to do some digging and actually find that Blu-ray copy from a friend so I could compare it to this 4K disc because I didn't have it in my collection. As crazy as that sounds, it just was one movie that always flew under the radar for me and I never picked it up. Now this is another Sony title. I've talked a lot about Sony recently, and this is another Columbia Pictures title that was released by Sony. And so this is a new 4K fully remastered version of Dracula. This was completely restored and it is shot on film, and so you're going to see grain, but you're going to see a great amount of detail if this was done right. And thankfully, again, Sony has hit it out of the park. They're really impressing me the more and more I look at their back catalog titles. Even Dracula, this came out 2 years ago when 4K was still relatively new, still relatively fresh, and Sony's been doing it right since the beginning. This is no exception here. There is definitely grain because of the film, and there isn't any digital noise reduction, so you're going to see the grain. But the grain structure is very fine, and compared to the detail on the Blu-ray, it's not as noticeable an upgrade as some other movies I've talked about because the Blu-ray was actually fantastic as well. It's a great Blu-ray disc. That being said, it is finer, there is better detail, the grain structure is better, and it is a nicer presentation just from a resolution standpoint. The 4K resolution does help. But in this case, the bigger upgrade is the HDR. The colors on this are noticeably better on HDR and 4K than with the previous Blu-ray. The previous Blu-ray I thought had a little bit of a weird tint to it, and at times it was kind of like blue, and at times it was almost like orange. It had a really weird color scheme, and on the HDR release of this, they've really balanced that a lot better. Black levels are excellent, which is important for this movie. Granted that a lot of it does take place in darker areas and has some darker scenes. The black levels do help a lot, and the HDR definitely improves that. And the black uniformity, again, that's going to depend a little bit on your panel and what you have for a TV. If you have an OLED, the black levels are going to look better than if you have a lower budget TV. But the black levels regardless, I've tested this on a couple different TVs and on the projector, which is nice. I can test it now on my Hisense, Samsung QLED, and my 4K projector, and black levels were great on all of them, although you definitely saw the best on the QLED. So overall, from a visual standpoint, the HDR is the biggest upgrade for me on this, and I would say it's definitely worth it. This is a great presentation, and the color in this, and the things like costume design, and scenery and set backdrops and all the things that make this movie so special as I was watching it for the first time really stand out more when you have HDR and you have that added color depth than when you have the previous Blu-ray. Now your previous Blu-ray release is going to be a very nicely done restoration. I even wonder if they didn't have some sort of really high-res 4K or almost 4K scan sitting somewhere when they did the Blu-ray, but this is just a little better on resolution. You're going to want to make sure you have an HDR capable TV to watch this on. Most are nowadays. I'd be surprised if you could find a 4K TV that didn't handle HDR, but the HDR is the biggest selling point, and that's what makes the visuals worth an upgrade. Now, as we dive into audio, this is where you're not going to see as big an upgrade over the Blu-ray, because Sony has done such a good job with the Blu-ray releases of this movie that they've included Dolby Atmos on previous Blu-ray releases, and that's what you're getting here on this release, is that Dolby Atmos track. So it's not a major upgrade, but I do want to talk about that track because for me, this was the first time listening to it and I had a really good experience. The Atmos track is really good. Now, if you know anything about this movie, it actually won an Academy Award for multiple categories, but one of them was sound effects and sound editing. And that is where the Atmos track really shines here, because there are a lot of super cool sound effects throughout the movie, and the object-based surround sound of the Dolby Atmos really helps spread that across your home theater. And it is a really great experience. Things are well balanced, dialogue is very clear, but my biggest the most exciting thing about this was the object-based surround. It's not the sample mix, it's not the way that things are scaled out across the channel. It's the fact that there are so many cool different effects, and it really takes full advantage of Atmos, whereas a lot of other movies don't take full advantage. You may see some nice height effects and things like that, but this really uses every channel to really deliver great sound. And this is one of the better Dolby Atmos tracks that I personally have listened to. Now, is it going to blow away your system? Is it going to make your neighbors call the police? No, it's not that type of soundtrack. But if you watch this in a dark room, lights off, sound all the way up, you're going to get a really theater-like experience as long as you have Dolby Atmos capable setups. So overall, the Atmos track is great, but it is worth noting that you could get this on previous Blu-rays, and so it's really hard to judge whether it's worth an upgrade. For me, this is more about whether it's worth a purchase if you haven't owned it like me, and in that case, yes, this is an excellent Atmos track, and it's definitely one you want to add to your collection. Now for packaging, all I have here is just a standard case. I just grabbed this from Amazon a few days ago. It dropped down to $14, which is a great price point. And on the inside, you've just got one of the old Sony 4K flyers and the 2 discs, no disc art, black disc for 4K, blue for Blu-ray. No slipcover with this. I'm not sure that it ever came with one. So I was going through Instagram and going back through older posts when people originally picked this up. I didn't see a ton of slipcovers, so it may never have come with one. That is what it is. It's not a big deal. Packaging is pretty standard. And then for special features, there aren't any on the 4K disc. So you're getting the same special features ported over from Blu-ray for this release. So in terms of packaging and special features, it does have new artwork and it's a 25th anniversary release. But other than that, there's nothing really to talk about here. That means that the real upgrade is going to be the video and the audio. And is it worth it? In this case, I would say 100% yes. In fact, this is probably one of the top 10 4K Blu-rays that I've taken a look at overall. It is really that highest standard. They did an excellent job. It is shot so well. The audio is awesome. Everything comes together. It's a really cool movie. I can't believe I slept on it for this long, but I really enjoyed watching it. So that, first of all, it's a great movie. But this presentation is awesome. The 4K resolution is great, but that HDR puts it over the top into that top 10 category for me. And the Dolby Atmos track really is sneaky good. Like, you wouldn't think that this is a movie that is going to blow you away. But if you know what to listen for and you have your speakers set up right and you've got that Atmos, you're really going to get some cool sound effects spread throughout your home theater. So that was a nice plus. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to blow away the neighbors, but it is a really subtly, it's so subtle, but it's so well done, and that's what I liked about it a lot. So overall, yes, I would say Dracula 4K is 100% worth an upgrade. Another huge shout out to Sony. They did an excellent job on this one again. This is all making me very excited for the new Columbia Classics release, which I did post on the YouTube community page today. It's currently on pre-order for $112 on Amazon, so go snag that if you can. That's less than $20 a movie for those 6 4K titles we talked about a few videos ago. That's a great deal. But all these Sony titles that I'm really enjoying are making me really excited to see what they do with these headlining titles like Lawrence of Arabia and Gandhi and stuff like that, which is just gonna hopefully blow us all away. So thanks for watching, guys. I will leave a link to this down in the description on Amazon. If you do purchase through that link, it helps support my channel. I would keep an eye on it. Like I said, I got it for $14 free shipping the other day. Thought that was a really good deal. And within hours, it was back up to $20. So keep an eye on it. Price is kind of fluctuating. But if you can get this for anywhere around $15, that's a solid upgrade. And for me, considering I didn't even have the movie in my collection, it was an absolute no-brainer at $15. I probably would have paid $20 for it just to do the review. But now having watched watched it and seen this 4K, I definitely would have paid $20. So it's up to you whether you want to wait, but it's worth the $20 price point if you don't already own it. And if you are looking to upgrade, again, $15 I think is well worth it in my opinion. So hopefully you guys had a good time watching this video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date on all the latest in 4K and physical media. Hope you're all staying safe and healthy. Make sure you stay at home, watch movies at home. Don't go out. You don't need to go shopping for Blu-rays and 4Ks right now. Do it online. Go to Amazon, go to Bull Moose, go to Hamilton Book. Hamilton Book has some 4K deals, so don't sleep on them. They're getting 4K Blu-ray now. And there's all kinds of great local places to support. So spend your money there, spend your money online, stay at home, stay safe, stay healthy. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll be back soon.